buckle up because we're diving deep into the mind of Leo Tolstoy.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be good.
This guy, he really thought modern life was a scam.
Yeah, and he thought...
Like a giant soul-crushing scam.
He really believed that real progress wasn't about, all the material stuff.
No, about the stuff.
All the gadgets.
Yeah.
Not about the money or the technology.
Yeah.
He thought it was about something way bigger than all of that.
Like moral and spiritual growth.
Exactly.
All this stuff we chase after.
Yeah.
The bigger house, the latest phone.
Yeah, all the stuff that we think...
He's saying it doesn't.
He's saying it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. He thought we fall into this trap of thinking that all that stuff is going to make us happy.
Right.
But he was really convinced that true happiness comes from within.
So like when you help someone out.
Exactly.
Or connect with something bigger than yourself.
Yeah, like a sense of purpose or meaning.
Okay, so he's saying we're all kind of chasing the wrong things.
In a way, yeah. I mean, he saw all this progress we're so proud of.
Like the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, all those technological advancements.
Yeah.
He saw that as kind of a distraction.
A distraction.
From what really matters.
Our souls.
Our souls, yeah. He was all about the soul.
So not a fan of the progress we're so proud of.
He wasn't buying it.
Well, what about war?
Oh yeah.
He wrote War and Peace, so I'm thinking he had some thoughts on that.
Oh, I had a lot of thoughts on war.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, Tolstoy believed war was absurd.
Absurd.
He thought it was all driven by these power-hungry leaders.
Oh, yeah.
Who were manipulating people,
with this idea of...
with ideas of heroism and nationalism.
Right.
But he saw through all of that.
So in War and Peace...
Yeah, in War and Peace, he really shows the chaos.
The chaos.
The pointlessness of war.
Not this glorious thing we sometimes think.
Exactly. He wanted to shatter that illusion.
So he was like, don't believe the hype.
Yeah, don't believe the hype.
See through the propaganda.
Question everything.
Don't be blindly patriotic.
Exactly. He wanted people to think for themselves.
Wow, this is getting really interesting.
It is fascinating stuff.
Okay, so what about science? Did Tolstoy believe in science?
That's a good question. He wasn't anti-science.
Okay.
But he definitely believed that science alone couldn't answer life's big questions.
Okay.
He said science is great for understanding, the physical world.
Like how things work.
Exactly, but it can't tell us how to live a good life.
So he can't tell us right from wrong.
It can't tell us how to be good people.
So he's saying we need something more than just logic and reason.
Yeah, we need something more to guide our lives.
Something more.
He believed moral problems need moral solutions.
Okay, I'm with you.
He even critiqued the education systems.
Interesting.
He thought they were churning out all these skilled people, but these people might lack compassion or a sense of purpose.
Like you could be a brilliant doctor.
Exactly, you could be a brilliant doctor.
But if you don't have empathy for your patients...
then what's the point?
What's the point, right?
Tolstoy was all about connecting head and heart.
This guy really makes you think.
A real mind bender.
So what about art? How did Tolstoy view art?
Well, he believed art should uplift the soul.
Okay.
Not just entertain or, stroke egos.
So no more mindless scrolling through Instagram.
He might say that.
He might.
He really wanted to distinguish between art that inspires love and empathy.
Okay.
Versus art that's just about pleasure or, showing off.
So like a beautiful sunset.
Yeah.
Versus a flashy, expensive painting.
Exactly. He was all about the genuine expression of the human spirit.
And he loved folk art, right?
Oh, he loved folk art.
The art of everyday people.
He saw that as the real deal.
Not art for the elite.
Not at all. He was all about the common man.
This is mind-blowing stuff.
It is pretty radical.
And then there's his ideas about love and family.
Oh boy, get ready for some tough love.
Tough love. Okay, I'm ready.
Tolstoy was really skeptical of romantic love.
Romantic love as in?
As we see it,
Okay.
portrayed in modern society.
Like in all those rom-coms?
Yeah, he might have found those a bit shallow.
What did he think was wrong with romantic love?
He thought it was often based on passion and selfishness.
Okay.
Not genuine commitment or moral responsibility.
So he had a different view of love and marriage.
He did. He had a much more traditional view.
Okay.
More about duty and respect and shared values.
Wow, so he really challenged the norms.
He definitely did. He was a real iconoclast.
So he wasn't a fan of modern romance?
Not really. He saw it as a bit misguided.
What else did he think about modern life?
Well, he believed that modern life pulls families apart.
How so?
Well, he thought that the constant pursuit of wealth and status can make us forget about spending quality time with loved ones.
We get so caught up in the rat race.
Exactly, and we neglect the things that really matter.
Like family and connection.
Exactly, he was all about those deeper human bonds.
Like he saw the dark side of all this progress.
He did. He saw how it could make us lose sight of what's truly important.
Okay, so we talked about progress, we talked about war, science, art, love, and family.
Big topics.
Now let's talk about money.
All right, let's get into it.
What did Tolstoy think about capitalism and the pursuit of money?
Well, he saw capitalism as a major culprit in modern misery.
Oh boy.
He believed that money could become a false god,
A false god.
leading to greed and dehumanizing work.
He sounds like he'd be a big critic of hustle culture.
Oh, he would have hated that whole mentality.
So instead of chasing the next promotion,
Yeah.
he'd say we should focus on work that has meaning and purpose.
Exactly. He believed in finding fulfillment in work that connects us to something bigger than ourselves.
Okay.
He thought industrial labor was turning people into machines.
Just cogs in the system.
Yeah, just cogs in the system.
And he preferred simple rural living.
Oh, he was all about that simple life.
Closer to nature.
Yes.
Less consumed by the artificiality of the city.
He thought cities bred alienation and encouraged superficiality.
Wow. Tolstoy really flipped the script on how we think about success and happiness.
He really did. He wanted us to rethink our values and priorities.
So instead of chasing material wealth,
Yeah.
he'd say we should focus on...
He'd say focus on personal growth.
Okay.
Focus on spiritual development.
And finding meaning and purpose in life.
Exactly. He was all about living a life of intention and authenticity.
This is incredible.
It is pretty mind-blowing.
So instead of trying to change the world,
Yeah.
Tolstoy was saying we should focus on changing ourselves.
That's the key. That's where real change begins.
But what did that look like for him?
Well, Tolstoy was a devout Christian, but he rejected organized religion.
He did.
He really advocated for this direct, personal faith.
So no churches, no rituals?
Not for him. He believed in a more spiritual connection with the divine.
That's pretty radical.
He was a radical thinker.
So he was basically saying, forget the dogma, forget the institutions.
Just connect with God.
Connect with God in your own way.
Yeah, exactly. It was all about that personal relationship with the divine.
Wow, this is really eye-opening stuff.
Tolstoy was a fascinating guy.
He really was.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
We've only just begun to explore his ideas.
We've got a lot more to uncover.
So much more to unpack.
So stay tuned.
Because we're just getting started.
All right, so we're back.
Back for more Tolstoy.
More Tolstoy, yeah. Diving deeper into his ideas about faith and morality and the meaning of life, all the big questions.
Yeah, we left off talking about how Tolstoy was a devout Christian, but he wasn't into organized religion. So what did he actually believe?
So Tolstoy believed in this direct personal connection with God, stripped of all the dogma and rituals.
Like a heart-to-heart with a close friend.
Exactly. No priests, no fancy ceremonies needed, just you and the divine.
So he was all about that one-on-one relationship.
He felt like organized religion had become corrupted by power, and had lost its true essence.
Interesting.
He believed that true Christianity was about embodying the teachings of Jesus through love, compassion, and nonviolence.
Speaking of nonviolence, Tolstoy was a huge advocate for pacifism, right?
Absolutely. He believed that violence was never justified.
Never.
Even in self-defense.
Wow.
Imagine turning the other cheek even when someone is attacking you. That's how strongly he felt about it.
That's a tough one to swallow, especially in a world where conflict seems inevitable.
It is a radical idea.
But I guess that's what made Tolstoy so unique.
He was way ahead of his time.
So how did his radical ideas influence other thinkers and movements?
Well, his emphasis on nonviolent resistance had a huge impact on figures like Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, wow.
They both drew inspiration from Tolstoy's writings.
And put his ideas into action.
Exactly, in their own struggles for social justice.
That's incredible. So Tolstoy's influence went way beyond just the literary world.
Absolutely. His philosophy of simple living and his critique of materialism also resonate really strongly with modern movements like minimalism and environmentalism.
It's like he predicted the problems of our consumerist culture.
He saw how the relentless pursuit of wealth and possessions could lead to emptiness and unhappiness.
Yeah. And he offered a way out.
He urged people to focus on what truly matters, love, compassion, connection with nature, and finding meaning in work that benefits others.
So in a way, Tolstoy was a prophet of sorts.
You could say that he had this incredible foresight to see where modern society was heading and the potential pitfalls of all this progress.
Like he was saying, wake up people, you're being sold a lie.
Exactly. He wanted us to question the values of a system that prioritizes profit over people and material possessions over genuine happiness.
So how do we apply Tolstoy's ideas to our lives today? It's so easy to get caught up in the rat race and forget about what really matters.
That's the challenge, isn't it? But Tolstoy's message is as relevant now as it was in his time. He reminds us to slow down, simplify our lives, and focus on cultivating our inner selves.
So less screen time, more soul time?
Exactly. He'd probably tell us to put down our phones, get out into nature, connect with loved ones, and find work that brings us joy and a sense of purpose.
It's about rediscovering what it means to be truly human.
Beautifully put, Tolstoy's message is ultimately about embracing a more conscious and meaningful way of life.
He challenged us to think differently, to question everything, and to find our own path to truth and happiness.
He was a true original, but he wasn't the only one grappling with these big questions about the meaning of life and the challenges of modernity.
That's right, there were other philosophers like Nietzsche and Kierkegaard who also offered their own unique perspectives.
Nietzsche, for example, famously declared that God is dead.
God is dead.
But he wasn't advocating for atheism.
Okay.
He was actually commenting on the decline of traditional religious belief in the face of modern science and reason.
So even though Nietzsche didn't share Tolstoy's faith, he was also concerned about the spiritual void created by modern life.
Exactly. He believed that with the decline of religion, humanity needed to find new sources of meaning and value.
What about Kierkegaard? How did his views align with or differ from Tolstoy's?
Kierkegaard was a devout Christian like Tolstoy, but he emphasized the importance of faith as a leap into the unknown.
A leap into the unknown.
He believed faith couldn't be based on logic or reason alone. It required a willingness to embrace paradox and uncertainty.
So both Tolstoy and Kierkegaard believed faith was essential, but they approached it from different angles.
You got it. Tolstoy focused on living a life guided by Christ's teachings, while Kierkegaard emphasized the personal struggle and existential angst involved in true faith.
Wow, so many different perspectives on the same fundamental questions about life, faith, and meaning.
And that's what makes exploring these ideas so fascinating. We can learn so much from these great thinkers, even if we don't agree with everything they said.
I'm starting to see how Tolstoy's ideas connect with other philosophical and spiritual traditions. It's like he was part of a larger conversation about the human condition that continues to this day.
Absolutely, he was a product of this time, but his insights have a timeless quality that continues to resonate with us today.
I'm already feeling inspired to make some changes in my own life, to simplify, to connect more deeply with nature and my own inner self, and to find work that aligns with my values.
That's the power of Tolstoy. He challenges us to think critically about how we live our lives and to strive for something more meaningful than just chasing material success.
This has been an incredible journey into the mind of Leo Tolstoy, but we're running out of time for this segment.
Yes, let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll explore the enduring legacy of Tolstoy's ideas and how they continue to shape our world today.
All right, we're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into Leo Tolstoy.
Yeah, it's amazing how relevant his ideas still are today.
I mean, this guy was writing over a century ago.
I know, it's like he could see the future or something.
He really could. He saw right through all the shiny stuff.
All the distraction.
And he pinpointed the problems with our obsession with technology and material possessions.
He was way ahead of his time.
So what would you say are the most impactful parts of his legacy today?
Well, his writings on nonviolence continue to inspire peace activists and social justice movements all over the world.
Yeah, I mean, think about the impact he had on Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr.
Exactly, and his ideas about simple living are huge in contemporary trends like minimalism and environmentalism.
It's incredible how his words written so long ago can still move and inspire people.
It really is. It's the mark of a truly great thinker.
Tolstoy tapped into something universal, something that goes beyond time and culture.
He spoke to our deepest human needs and aspirations.
So what's the key takeaway for our listeners? What wisdom can we take from Tolstoy's life and writings?
Well, he reminds us to question our assumptions about progress, to be mindful of the potential downsides of technology.
And to look for meaning and purpose beyond just material possession.
Exactly. He challenges us to think critically about what truly matters and to live according to our values.
It's like he's saying, hit the pause button, simplify your life, reconnect with yourself and with nature.
Exactly. Spend less time on social media and more time cultivating real human connections.
And pursuing creative endeavors.
And appreciating the beauty of simple things.
He also challenged us to be more compassionate, more forgiving, and more committed to nonviolence.
Absolutely. He believed that true strength comes from love and empathy, not from power or aggression.
It's a powerful message, especially in today's world.
Tolstoy's legacy is a call to action.
An invitation to create a more just compassionate and peaceful world.
And it all starts with our own individual choices and actions.
So listener, as we wrap up this deep dive into the mind of Leo Tolstoy, we leave you with this question. What will you do today to live a more meaningful life?
How will you embrace simplicity, cultivate compassion, and make the world a better place?
Remember, as Tolstoy believed, true progress is about the evolution of our hearts and minds.
It's about living a life of love, kindness, and compassion.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.